think 8 or 9 before the program actually started, but that was just because I cut out soda and candy and it just kind of came down. But I also know that from losing weight in the past, that first 5 or 10 pounds always comes off really easy, because I would always drop that weight, and then when the scale slows down, I would stop or I would get discouraged. So I just knew myself enough to be like, I want to have like real results in a managed way. My shirts fit better. I dropped, I think, 20 pounds once I started paying attention.
Welcome to the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast, where we cover anything related to behavior change that will increase your long-term wellness and happiness. And now, here are your hosts, personal trainer and RNs, Matt and Jenna.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at Matt's house.
Hey, I'm Matt from Fitness.
We're supposed to have worked out this morning, but I got here a little late and just wasn't really feeling it. So we're going to have a discussion that we've been meaning to have. We just haven't made time for.
I was not in full agreement for this.
Yeah, that's fine. Talking about just where we're at in our YouTube journey compared to like where we are now to like a year ago, all the changes, kind of where we're at mentally, emotionally, and all that stuff. Because like a year ago, I was under 100,000. I think I was under 20,000.
Right now you're at 117.
Yeah. So I had not. I think actually a year ago is when the traction started. Actually, I think about it. But a lot has changed. You know, just not just on YouTube, but in life and everything, and trying to balance it out and all that. So where are you at?
Where am I at? Good question. I'm glad we're doing this video because it has felt like a while since we've been able to talk about it. I feel like we had so much more time back in the day to be able to do things like this. You know, like we did videos on a whim when we had so much more time. Mm-hmm. And like time is such the asset that I can't get more of, and I'm not complaining. Like I'm very fortunate. For me, it's been a very intentional shift in 2021 to start making more clickable videos. You know, like I was making videos last year, which I think they're good and they're evergreen, but there's only so many people that give a damn about a video that's titled "What are calories and macros?" You know. So my focus has been to make more clickable content that's gonna hit people, that's really gonna make an impact. As corny as that sounds.
Yeah,
you know?
There's always been a balance of like making stuff that's clickable and making stuff that like you enjoy. And luckily, like with the My Friend Watches, My Girlfriend Watches, they are formulaic like in their setup, which is good, so people know what to expect and everything. But it takes like that creative stuff away from me, which is why I love YouTube. So I think I'm at a good spot right now where we're able to shoot, because I love watching movies with you guys. That's not about that. I love watching movies with you guys, but I can send the videos off to be edited while I work on stuff that I know won't do as well, but I still just want to make, you know, so I can put, you know, my time in that type of stuff while, you know, I'm still getting my bread and butter. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So I get that.
I had such like an intentional, again, shift to 2021 where I was like when I started doing YouTube, it was in 2017 when I really started taking it seriously. That's when I started building my business. And I was like, how do I get to people? Like, how do I reach people after doing in-person training? And nobody wants to pay a personal trainer. It's expensive, all that. And like the shift for me was like knowing that I was going to put out content, put out what I know, what I'm learning, and then, you know, maybe people will come to me. And that, lo and behold, that has happened. But in October, I really started marketing things and like came up with the challenge and all that, and it's working. It really is working, and it's strange to see it working after you formulated a plan almost 5 years ago. Yeah. So that's been a big focus. Like I've been live streaming every day for 49 days now, with the intention to you know, engage more.
What do you think has been the coolest thing that's happened since like the growth of YouTube, whether it was like when we were in the heat of the MCU stuff or whatever? What has been like the coolest experience you've had as a YouTuber now? Or have you had any moments that are just wow?
Yeah, without a doubt. So do you mean like with the audience or with...
I mean, just in general, just this would not have happened unless I was a YouTuber, or this wouldn't have happened unless I was as successful or whatever.
For me, one of the biggest things that stands out, besides my relationship with all of my friends and my wife, developing even more, I think, like, being able to speak to people that have questions or need whatever that is that we have to give. Like, I know that you're messaged often, and so am I, that, like, our positivity, or maybe it's just our camaraderie and whatnot, like, it really does something for people. And that's a holy crap moment to me.
It made me feel like crap, because I was like, probably when Di had us go to Disney.
Oh my God.
That was pretty sweet. You're like, well, giving back to the community.
Yeah, I hate
piece of crap.
I hate to sound like that corny dude that's just like, all I care about is impact, man. But that's what really, really, like, fires me up about this is that ability.
Yeah, I hear you.
But as we've always said, like, you know, I think that my intentions on YouTube are a little different than yours. Neither one is right or wrong. You know, like, you're so mainly the creator, and I'm so mainly the person that wants to talk about this one thing. But I think it's cool because we both have that ability, and I was saying it in the first morning vlog back, that we both have that ability to me reach into the nerd world and you reach into the fitness world. And I think that's why it works. That's why it works. Yeah. What is it like now being at 117,000? You know, everybody has that allure, and I remember asking you the question, like, what did it feel like to hit 100 at the 100K party?
Yeah. Well, I never thought I'd reach 100K, ever. But I think I even told you then, it's right now, I don't know, right now I passed the milestone. So I don't have, like, another milestone in its place. Like, I'm not like, oh, now I need to get to 200,000.
Was 100K, like...
Yeah, that was the ultimate end.
You were like, if I got there, that's all. That's
it. Where else do I go? And I still kind of feel that way in the sense that, like, well, I've passed my goal, and so I don't really look at the subscriber number anymore, like, at all.
Really?
You know, so now it's just about, right now it's just about kind of maintaining the viewership, make sure that it stays the same, you know, or try to do better, and kind of what's next. Kind of like when we watched Soul, and it was like, you know, enjoy the little things. You know, it's not a destination, it's a journey. Yeah. I agree with that. You know, I don't really. There's no, like, number that once I reach, I will be happy. You know, so I reached 100,000. I reached my goal, and now it's just I just want to make videos. I've always had that mentality. I just want to make stuff.
You and I have talked about this a billion times, and if you're no stranger to this channel or Holden's channel, you'll probably have heard me say, like, I feel like the one side that people always want to know, whether they're into YouTube, whether they don't even have an account on YouTube, besides the subscriber number, they're like, oh, how much money are you making? Like, that's always the question. And of course, I'm not asking you to say that. But what I'm saying is, how has it been almost being forced to be more of a businessman when being such a primary creator?
Yeah, I mean, I have my moments of, like, you know, this is what I need to do to eat and, like, pay my bills.
Yeah.
And so I'm conscious of that, and I'll work on that. But what was the question? I mean,
ultimately, you know, partly what you and I do on YouTube, and so does the crew. Like, some of our decisions are made out of business. You know. Yeah. Well. I mean, we decide on some of the videos that get posted because we know that they're going to do better as compared to some other videos that don't. So what does that look like, having to take on more of a business mentality in that Holden Hardman, such a true creator brain?
I mean, kind of just like what I said earlier about just, there are some videos that we know that are more clickable and people want to, like, watch WandaVision or whatever. We'll do that. And then we also do the one-off, you know, that I might have a little more interest in the moment, even though I know it won't do as many views, you know, and I can send those off to editors. Really, it's anything, like, business-wise, if I can put it to somebody else to do, I will. I would much rather do that. I'm a creator at heart as opposed to a business person. YouTube is, like, the perfect model for me, to where I can just make stuff and I just have ads play. I don't have to call people. I don't have to have meetings. I'll tell you what, I can't tell you how many times people have, like, sponsorships have reached out at this point, and they'll have, like, a really cool, like, pitch or something. This is true. You're going to absolutely hate this. They'll have, like, a pitch, you know, and they're like, you know, we'll do this. We'll, you know, 20% off for your people. It's right up your type of marketing. Can we set up a call next week? No.
No.
Put it in writing. Put it all right here. Tell me what you need. What do you need me to do? If I have any questions, I'll email you back. I don't want to call anybody. I don't want to talk to anyone.
No, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Like that, and the reason he says that, if you don't know, because I'm very much always encouraging and offering ideas to Holden of this, you could do this and you could do this to for that business aspect of it. But I'm right there with you that it's very obvious that you would probably have more lucrative people reaching out or sponsorships reaching out. But I get them as well, and it's very often that I turn it down. Yesterday I got somebody reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, check this out, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Sorry, I don't even click people's links anymore."
See how far we've come. I remember getting the freaking headlight restoration kit.
Yeah.
Thinking this is the peak.
We made it. We made it. Yeah. What's that been like for you? Now making a full-time living on something that was for so long not fruitful.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally years of making videos weekly
that no one watched.
Nobody watched. Well, thanks. But yeah, that nobody cared about. So that, I mean, it is what it is. Is
that weird that you're making a full-time living from
it's
a
great.
website online?
It's my dream job.
Yeah.
It really is. And that's another thing. I'm very happy that because so many people talk about what is their dream job and then when they get it they're like, oh, I don't know. And actually, I want to do my own thing. I want to make I want to make videos. I want to make content. And I tell my patrons all the time. I just want to make stuff that people will enjoy. And I hope that I know me, and I know that constantly I'll be doing different things. I'll get tired of doing a certain type of video, and I want to try something new. And I just say, I hope you'll stick around as I try new things.
Yeah.
And My Friend Watches is such a good balance because I love movies, and it gives us the freedom to watch different things depending on the mood, I guess, that we're in.
Yeah.
So if I'm, man, I want to watch a comedy, or I want to watch this or watch that, because movies are always my type of escapism. And so the good thing is we can film it, and I think sometimes we do need to still have those step backs and being okay, we're very much being presenters right now.
Yeah.
Maybe let's just be friends watching it and talking about it kind of organically, because we can kind of get in this all right, the camera's rolling, time to go type of thing. But yeah, so I love it for that reason. So we can film us watching movies that we enjoy, and I have an editor now that can work just primarily on those, and they're systematic for them. When we first started gaining traction, I know for me, I really wanted to be the type of creator that could respond to every message, and that could spend all this amount of time.
That's a good question.
Responding to stuff. And I feel for the longest time, I was, I was responding to just about every comment, every message.
Yep.
Even if it would take hours, which was often the case.
Yep.
And I have found myself at a point now, on Instagram or whatever, where I just cannot feasibly do that. Responding to every single email. I feel at this point there's so much more perspective that I have now, as far as I tried to at least send one message to somebody that would respond.
Yeah.
So if somebody would send me a message, I would just respond to the one time.
Yeah.
Because you'd find that people would want to get into conversations
Sure.
with you, and that's definitely just too much. And so what I found was, I can at least respond to everybody one time.
Right.
And then you get people that get mad at you for not talking anymore.
Yeah.
I would finally I would get engaged in these messages. I'd respond once, thank you so much, appreciate it. And a day or two later, I'd be able to, that same message thread would come back up, and there's 4 messages. I thought you cared about your fan.
Yeah.
So now it's just at the point where I can't keep up. And I was gonna ask you what your feelings were on that. I don't know if you're in that same ballpark or what.
Yeah, I definitely am, and that's something that we talked about, when we were more in the middle of it, and I think when our subscriber count was a little closer, more narrow, but yeah, and I think for me that's always going to be a bit of a struggle, knowing that I can't get to every message, but I also do understand the practicality of knowing that when you receive thousands of messages, you know, in a month span, it's simply impossible for one human to interact with that. So, and I'm not. It kind of hurts. It sucks because that's the big thing. Like what I'm doing, I really want to speak to people, be with people, understand people, and listen to people. So that's why I've very much been like, if you really want to communicate with me, hit me up on my email. Because I respond to that. Instagram, I don't even try anymore, to be honest.
I don't either.
Just because
every once in a while I'll go through, you know, just to see, but I just can't. It's thousands.
Yeah, it's.
Oh man, the pressure.
Oh, the pressure is the first world problem. No, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's just, this is full transparency.
Mm-hmm.
But I've even found now that when I first started, it was like, go to my email, like, because that would sort of filter the people that truly wanted to speak to you.
Yeah.
You know, like, because we get a lot of people that are just like, hey, fucking watch Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So.
Like, here's my wedding video. When's Clone Wars coming out?
So, you know, I think there's a different type of person that's going to email you as compared to who's going to hit you up on Instagram. But I've even found that now my email is starting to get a little overloaded.
Really? I feel like at this point, like through the experience that we've had over the past year and a half of the, you know, big growth, well, I mean, it's all relative, but big for us, I think.
Sure.
I feel like I've gained a lot of wisdom as far as dealing with sponsorships that I wish I had before.
Yeah.
Dealing with commenters, you know, dealing with suggestions. I just feel like, you know, we always watch like a Video Creator Hub or like these, you know, channels that are supposed to intend to help you grow and stuff. And then, you know, I had like Footless Joe that I could reach out to for questions and whatnot, but I've been screwed over by sponsorships straight up, where I literally made like $15 and still expose them to, you know, tens of thousands of people and being like, okay, that's not really fair.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Like how to navigate certain things, basically.
Yeah. I can kind of see smaller creators still get like, you know, they'll get a single comment that's, hey, could you do this? And then they're just like 100% like down for it. There's got to be like a balance of, I can at this point now tell whenever something is going to be recommended, you know. There's like an expectation for certain videos. Like I know if we do.
Oh, you mean like the subscribers?
Yeah, subscribers recommending something. I knew when we did WandaVision and having Jen there, people were going to be like, "When are y'all going to watch the MCU?" You know, as far as like me and Jen,
Yeah.
I have that expectation, and so.
You feel pressure from that?
I kind of am just going to do my own thing.
Well, and I think that's what you should do.
Yeah, because I know that they're waves. I'm actually worried Clone Wars is going to be a similar way. We're in the middle of Star Wars stuff. People are like, oh, you know, you should watch this. That would fulfill your experience.
Yep.
But once we're out of it or whatever, are they still going to be there? And I have found in the past that they're not always like that. You know, they wanted us to watch It and, you know, Hereditary. I remember our horror movie month. We just constantly got recommendations of certain horror movies, and that was like one of the weaker performing months that we had.
True, but I think that's, you know, that we've talked about that, how that's seasonal or cyclical, whatever you want to call it. I mean, the amount of consumption around certain times of the year is kind of different. So I don't know if you can pin that completely on it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I was banking on a horror month, you know, and people will like seeing that, and maybe we shouldn't have done that, you know.
So it's funny that you were talking about navigation. And I think that whole little block there was you were talking about navigation. And yes, I agree with you. Like, I think you're going to naturally have more wisdom than I have, having more lure to your channel from sponsorships and companies and all that. But I remember when I used to think, like, and this is me, like the more business mentality guy. I was like, man, like sponsorships, that's it, man. And like the more I thought about sponsorships, I was like, as the farther I got into this, I was like, why do I need someone else?
Yeah.
That really is my mentality.
That's my mentality has changed pretty much to that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I now am much more of adopting of the mindset of I have to really love the product and I have to really use the product.
Yeah.
Like I have something right now that I can't really talk about, but I wish I wouldn't have done it.
Really?
And the stipulation that I had was I will review your thing, but I'm going to be 100% honest about it, so I hope that's okay.
Yeah, my whole outlook has kind of changed to that. Why do I need somebody else? And just about every like every single way. You know, we joke about The Room, but honestly, I think him being like,
genius.
Why do I need somebody else to fund my movie?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like an Americanized perspective of like, I need to be a great employee for an employer, you know?
Could be.
Or I need somebody, I want to be an actor, therefore I have to have a big break, I guess. And I'm very much like, you know, maybe my stuff is not great by any means, but it's like, I want to make a...
Come on,
Well,
Holden.
no, it's like, I want to make a Halloween short. I want to see Michael Myers fight Jason. I'm gonna make that, you know? I want to see Spider-Man do this or that. Well, I'll just make that or find the means to make it. And, you know, I was doing that before I was making any money on YouTube.
Yeah.
The benefit of where I'm at on YouTube now is that I can just kind of invest a little more in the products or in the projects.
Yes, I agree with you. I think it's much more of a mentality of that's what people have seen influencers do and YouTubers do and
What's that?
TikTokers do. Get sponsorships.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that's such a common thing.
That's
and
like the thing you do when you get big.
That's what you do. And like it's not only what the thing you do, it makes money. So of course that's what that's what what's his face is doing, and he's making money. That makes total sense because I want to make money. But the details within there is like when you get to, I think, this point as a bare minimum of realizing like you don't have to do that.
I don't think I've had a sponsorship on my channel for a while now.
No, it has been a while since you've mentioned it.
Yeah. Are you happier now than when we were like a year ago? Just generally like YouTube involved and everything? Like, does this fulfill you and make you happy?
Yeah. You know, it's obviously it's not the monetary gain. I've learned that the dollar amount does not increase the happiness unless you're getting past the survival standpoint. But 100,000%. I have never felt this fulfilled. I've never had a job in any of my career that I've ever felt this way. I feel unbelievably fulfilled. My ability to wake up early in the morning and go to bed late, to continue working. I'm touching this every single day. Every single day.
I, for so much of my life, it was just like poverty, you know, especially like early, you know, my early childhood or whatever. And then even working jobs that I thought were stepping points into greater things like desk jobs or, you know, working in finance for the hospital or for a credit union or whatever. But I inevitably always found myself, you know, I can't wait for the weekend, you know.
I hate that. Yes.
You know,
yes.
But I mean, just like in Soul, we just watched Soul recently. I don't know to what point we're releasing them out, but I just found myself just like, I wasn't miserable, but I just wasn't living. And I remember at one point...
Surviving, not thriving.
Do you remember I was constantly doing stuff after work? You know, either if I was making videos
It's the only time we had.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that was important to me, you know. So I feel like work, I had to do that. I remember at work, there was this coworker I had that would, you know, we would talk about, you know, what we were doing, and I was always doing something. You know, and they were like, I don't know how you do it. I go home and go like straight to sleep. And like, I want to live my life, you know, and whether or not I have money, which I did not have, or what, I wanted to do things. I didn't want my life to be just waiting for the weekend. I just was not happy with that. I was happy in those, you know, don't get me wrong. I was still doing stuff, but I found if I was just like, okay, I go to work, I go home, I'm exhausted, get up, do it again. I just felt so empty. I hated it.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the roller coaster that is the 9 to 5 or the job that you're simply working because you need money. Monday is, oh my God, what a low. And Sunday night, you start feeling it. Jesus Christ, I don't want tomorrow to come. And then by Wednesday, you're like, it's coming. Friday, the weekend's coming. Yeah. And the high you have on Friday, it just... I hate that feeling. Yeah.
I feel like it's one thing to be in it and one thing to be out of it looking back, you know, because I do YouTube full time now. But I wasn't always. And I was just constantly working towards it. So I guess the lesson in that is, you know, if you have a passion, but you're stuck in that rut of that 9 to 5 or whatever situation it is, to just be working towards whatever your goal is. If your passion is music or if it's making videos or whatever it is, this is so important too. I think that you need to have enough self-realization to critique your own work honestly. You know,
self-awareness. There
are so many people on like the YouTuber subreddit that I'll look at that are like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You know, I'm doing all these things, and you go and look at their content, and it's either a direct mirror of somebody bigger,
or they have like 4 videos,
or they only have 4 videos, or it has to be something that you just enjoy doing.
I think that exactly what you're saying is directly correlating and speaking to whatever you want to be successful in, whatever makes you happy. if it makes you happy, you truly have a fire to get up and do it, you're going to continue to do it when no one's watching.
Yeah, I think so many people, especially with YouTube, they're like, man, I would love to just make Minecraft videos and make a living doing that, or do this or that, thinking that end goal is going to make them happy, you know, but it's really the steps to get there. Again, I know for me, I was making videos for years. I remember I'd get a video with 200 views, and that was great.
Yeah.
You know, typically they were under 50 views, and I was working really hard at them. They weren't just things I was crapping out; they were things I was proud of, you know. And I wish that more people had watched. And I viewed it as practice. So by the time I actually make it, I'll know my editing software. I'll know how to make good videos. I'll know when to cut what needs to cut. Right now, in this early stages of whatever you're doing, it's practice.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine tuning your craft. And if you think that you're the best you can be right now, or there's like a sense of pride of like, I'm really good at playing guitar or whatever. I don't know why nobody will sign me or whatever. Practice, get better.
You have to bring something different to the table. Like, I can only talk about calories and macros and take my shirt off for so long until people don't give a shit. There's so many of me, and I have to narrow down why am I worth listening to. And if I don't give a damn about what I'm talking about, if I don't truly have a passion, if I don't have enough fire in me to wake me up at 5 a.m. and go to bed at 1 a.m. working on this crap until I do quote unquote make it, there is no make it. I know that this is temporary, what I'm at, as far as the 9 to 5 and also doing what I'm doing, because I have such a damn passion for it that I'm going to continue. I would rather do my 9 to 5 and part-time YouTube for the rest of my life than to quit. Quitting is awful because I wouldn't have what I love.
I try to think of it this way: whether our My Friend Watches series had taken off or not,
we'd still be working on it.
I'd still be making videos regardless. I'm cautious about those people that they just see success.
Yeah.
That's the end goal that they want, but they're not.
You don't see behind.
Yeah, they don't acknowledge, I guess, the work. Sometimes, you know, when we do short films and we bring in other people, it can be like work. You know, it's
Absolutely.
like we have to get this shot. It's physically tiring. We're exhausted. We don't really want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But we do it.
Yeah.
And there's so many times where kind of during the process, it can be really, really stressful. Some things aren't working right. That's happened so many times. You know, there's time restraints or whatever. And then the final product is done and people, you know, they're like, oh my gosh, can you do another one?
Yeah.
You know? And I'm just like, yeah, just give me a minute. You know, but people, I remember whenever my channel, I would sometimes have these kind of like little spikes, you know, depending on the content. And I remember I would do like a project and all of a sudden I'd get all these people that want to help me. You know, they do whatever you need. I'll come out there and we can work on stuff. And, you know, some time would go by, like a month, it would kind of die down. I'd reach out to those people and nobody could do it. Nobody was willing. I finished the project, it would do well, and everybody wants to help me out again.
Yeah.
And so I try to remember that it is work.
People love the end product, they don't love the process. And
That's exactly right.
That wraps the entire thing up. But it's the process is how you get better. The process is practice, like you said, and the process is why you see the great people or the people doing what you want to do. That's how they got to do that. It's because they've been through the process and they looked at it as practice.
Yeah. So whatever your passion is, just work on it.
Practice.
Keep doing it, regardless. I know that the 9 to 5 or whatever your financial situation or job situation sucks. I know. I don't know about you. I have been at the bottom before. In every sense: money, relationships, friendships, happiness, depression. Like, been there, done that.
Yep.
That's why passions are so important for me. It gives me kind of like a reason to get up, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. This is some impromptu, sort of off the cuff. There you go. Well, you started this out. You want to wrap it up?
Sure. Well, make sure you check out my channel. Greatly appreciate that. Subscribe. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. You have to be perfect at this 6 in the morning in the car, freezing cold weather thing. Just try to be better than yesterday. Every day.
I think it's like 50 degrees. It's
34 degrees.
It's not that cold.
34.
That's probably what the feel-like temperature is.
Oh, okay.
This has been the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. We want to thank you for listening and invite you to subscribe to the show as well. And follow Matt Lane Fitness on YouTube. Until next time, you don't have to be perfect. Just be better than yesterday every day.